Hello everyone, this is Homeless Bill. We're going to be taking a look at the new Mechlab and talking about some areas that can be improved. I'd just like to say right up front that this is a massive improvement over what we have. It's finally what we're looking for. But this video will focus entirely on things that need to be improved. So let's just jump right into it. First off, this sorting option should be saved out between sessions. Like if I pick class descending, it should be that same thing next time I log in. That should also happen on skills, where pretty much every time I want to switch to variance own descending, and it always switches back. That's a non-essential fix, but I believe it would be very helpful. So the first essential fix, I believe, is that this grid needs to be resizable. It feels way too claustrophobic right now, and the simple way to do that is to basically copy and paste this drop-down menu over here, call it grid size, and allow users to select grid sizes that their resolution can support. For instance, since I'm running 1920 by 1080 or something, I should be able to go up to at least 6 across by 5 down, you know, perhaps even bigger. I know this may not fit quite as nicely in here, but it's something we really need at this point. I do like the collapsible lists, but it's just a little too claustrophobic right now. So the second fix that we absolutely need is detailed stats need to be available from this page. Quirks are on there and only there. Some other good information's there. So put a checkbox here, call it detailed stats, and link to it. Detailed stats is this page. The thing that used to be a hover over. It should not be a hover over, it should be an explicit button that's very clear to the user. I think it's a great page and people should be able to access that quite easily. So moving on, the heatsink display. First off, it doesn't need to be caps lock. I don't know why it is. It should just be first letter capitalized. Also, the number of heatsinks needs to be here, period. The number of heatsinks is an incredibly important number. When people share builds, they often include the number of heatsinks. Heat management is a very arbitrary measurement. If you stack it up with lots of weaponry, it's going to be low, so it's very helpful to know how many you actually have. Those are the 3 essential fixes for the Mechlab, or the mech selection screen. Moving on, I'd like to see some DPS displays. Firepower is a great number. Knowing your alpha is important, but max DPS and sustained DPS would be helpful stats to put down here as well. I think those are important to know, especially for, you know, DACA builds, things like that. Next, this scroll bar should go away when it is not being used. I sort of feel like they're probably already fixing that, but just in case they're not. Next, ghost heat warning. I really wish this icon wasn't here on the main icon. I really like that it's here, that it tells you, hey buddy, you know, this is a little bit dangerous, but having it on the main icon is a little bit chastising, especially when I build all these mechs and I know what I'm doing. I don't know, maybe I'm just OCD about that. Next is something that other people have suggested and I agree with: faster scrolling. You can probably hear how aggressively I'm scrolling to get not very far. That default speed needs to be brought up. Not much else to say about that. A collapse all and expand all button would be nice somewhere on here for this list view. Not necessary, but it'd sure help. So the next category we're going to talk about is inside of the actual Mechlab. So we're gonna select this page. So first off, I'm going to plug an idea by Sabujo on Reddit. Full credit to him for this. The warehouse needs a little, it's alright, but these toggles aren't really in line with the rest of the UI. They're alright, they're functional, but Sabujo has recommended this collapsible list display, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's exactly what we need, to be perfectly honest. It's more in line with the rest of the UI, as in the mech selection screen, the skills tree, and also the column layout is just another expandable list interface. So I think it would be an incredible benefit to, you know, take this into consideration. That, I believe, is an essential fix. For me, that is the biggest thing PGI could do to improve the UI. Next up, proprietary sorting. We've needed this forever. You can see some of it actually in Sabujo's example, where you see small laser, medium laser, large laser, ER laser, small pulse, medium pulse, large pulse, PPC, ER PPC, flamer, tag. It's not alphabetical. It's not done some weird wacky way. It's not by tonnage. It's proprietary, and it makes sense because it groups weapons together. You know, it's LRM 5, 10, 15, 20 instead of 10, 15, 25, which is what it is with alphabetical. You know, autocannon's always so confusing because it's always AC 10, 2, 25. You know, proprietary sorting, we've needed it for a long time. Please put that in there. Something that's not essential but would be nice is a critical slot count. So up here by the tonnage, which is a good number, there should also be a critical slot count for how many you have available. It's just another good number to have there. The engine rating, I like this. This is a fun little box. Go ahead and equip an engine here. I like that, but it should be larger. I mean, look how large the armor adjusters are. You know, why is it in a box? Why does it look different than, you know, everything else here? These just need to be bigger. I don't know why they're so small, but the details stats page, let's take a look at that. Basically, these changes I'd recommend for this are the changes I recommended in the mech selection screen, which is it needs to show the number of heat sinks. It should ideally show max DPS and sustained DPS along with firepower. It should get rid of these scroll bars when they're not needed. And that's about it. It's a good page to have, but it'd be nice to get rid of those redundant elements and add a couple of nice things. Strip mech button. It's a nice button. It has the strip all modules button and some other stuff. I was really intimidated to use it though because I thought it might just strip everything when I didn't want it to strip my weapons. This should be strip mech ... the traditional I'm going to show you a dialog box indicator. That'd be really nice to have down there so fewer players are intimidated by it. And then the final thing is something that, jeez, why are there no weapons? Okay, I don't want any medium pulse lasers. Basically, oh, that's nice. It doesn't tell me that I'm buying that anymore. Okay, that's nice, but one thing I would say is that, you know, what am I spending this on? You know, do you want to buy those items? What items? I need a list of them. You know, list off all the items I'm buying. Similarly, the redeeming items thing you get when you log in sometimes or between rounds during events. You know, you won some items. Check your inventory or whatever. And it's like, what did I win? I have no clue. I'm not going to look through every single everything or know what the hell I have. So please list those out. Those are just, you know, common sense UI things. So next we're going to talk about Mechlab functionality. Again, there are 3 more essential fixes that I think we need here. The first being an expanded equip area. Jeez, this is how to save here. There we go. Okay, so my problem with this is that I can't be lazy when I'm building. You know, if I want to drop a PPC and I just want to drop it anywhere, just put it in the right torso. It doesn't drop in. It needs me to put it in these slots. And so I'm like, okay, let's drop another PPC in there. Oops. It actually replaces the PPC that was in there. So there are 2 problems here. A is I want the lazy man's equip zone. I want to be able to throw it anywhere on here and have it just slot in. And the other component of that is swap is not a functionality we want. Replace is a bad idea. For instance, you can actually see when you fill up this mech that now this changes to an icon that says you can't put me in normally without any restrictions, but you can replace me for another weapon. It sounds good on paper. It's not good in practice. Larger equip zones are by far the bigger convenience than this. This will be used more unintentionally than intentionally. I just think replace is a bad feature. Please don't put that in. Please take that out. Don't, just don't, please. The last essential fix on here is the ability to pick your weapon slots, right? So I want to do this build where I have 2 PPCs to peak on the high hard points, and I've got 2 large pulse lasers down low for the brawl. Right, so let's save that and see where these hard points end up. Spoiler alert, they're going to end up in the wrong place. The PPCs are going to be down low, and the large pulse lasers are going to be up high on the shoulders. Boy, I really wish this wasn't so slow. I wanted to make this a quick video. So as you can see, PPC's down there, when really I want them for the peaking capability, where you're like, well, just need to put them in the different slots, you know, maybe put them in this order and it will just all magically work. And the answer is it won't. There's nothing I can really do. There are a couple of, you know, workarounds you can do, but this is a problem. I need to be able to select which mounts I want which weapons in. There needs to be something like when you click a weapon, you know, some little, you know, box appears out here where you can select 1, 2, 3, 4 which weapon slot it goes in. Maybe another screen where you could shuffle them around and it shows all the hard points on the actual mech. I don't know, but that needs to be fixed. That's a long-standing problem. The last recommendation I have, non-essential but would be really helpful and not that hard to implement. Double clicking should be able to put things in. So I should just be able to double click here and have it fly in, at least in column view, because you know what component you're adding to. It would be nice to have it in this mode where it just lazily adds to the first available slot left to right, but you know, that will take a little bit of work to get working. So that's it for my recommendations, and I hope this is a fairly comprehensive list of things that will get this up to basically perfect in terms of functionality. I also like the grid recommendation that Sabujo made as an alternative on the mech selection screen, but you know what? I just wish they would fix what's here. It's a good base, and good job PG Guide. So that's going to be it, and thank you for watching.